Hello everyone, welcome to Wildcat Week. I'm Randall King sitting in for Roger Alcock. The Wildcat football team faced off against number 2 in the country, Marian University, this past weekend, putting up 21 points against the undefeated Knights. And joining us now to talk about all that means is Coach Jordan Langs. Welcome to Wildcat Week. As always, sitting here having given Marian University maybe its toughest challenge of the year. Did you expect this kind of game coming in?
Yeah, I mean, we expect success with the way that we prepare and the way our kids are prepared. I was really proud of the kids. It's kind of a benchmark game, obviously, versus the most talented roster in the country. They might not be ranked number 1, but the talent is there. So we had a lot of confidence come over our last few weeks, starting with the St. Francis game, and it was good for us to go out against an elite opponent and execute what we thought was a good game plan and just come up a few plays short.
We'll see those highlights in a moment. I just always am curious about the psychology. I didn't sense from your coaches or from any players I interacted with after the Siena win that they were playing scared or going into this game with anything other than thinking we can do our best.
Yeah, and I think we tried prepping that last April when we knew that every game was going to be really hard. It wasn't like you get one game off and then you gear up for a big game. And so our kids have to really get in the routine of understanding. We have to be emotionally, physically, and spiritually ready every single game. And that includes in our preparation. And that's what we're harping on this week as well.
Here we are in the first quarter, and they did what you expected them to do. But lots of Charles Salary. Any surprises there?
No, I mean, he was a good player. The best offense line I've seen on a football field in my career coaching. We gave him 2 short fields. We can't do it. We did it with a block punt. We did it with an early interception. So we can't put our defense out in short fields early in a game against.
You see the defense doing valiant work there, but you're right. They were asked to do a lot with very, very tough situations, and also then you come back offensively and then they get a quick one here.
Yeah, we just can't do it. I mean, to play a total team game like we've done all year, we have to protect field position, and we didn't do that. And it forced 2 quick scores in the first quarter, which we can't happen. So punting the ball away, getting a first down and punting it is better for us in any situation than giving up a short field.
Defense fought hard in that kind of situation, but just so many opportunities for Marian.
Yeah.
Coming back offensively here, lots of Devotney Alford.
Yeah, I mean, our offense line did a good job handling the stuff that they were showing us. They're giving us a lot of different looks. We had a good plan. Coach Ekins and Coach T got our guys right. And really, Devotney ran really hard and did a nice job.
Were you surprised that they didn't go to the passing game more? A big one there to number 4, but so much of the running game was working, and then they opportunistically find the end zone.
Yeah, I think that their strengths in their run game, no doubt, and they knew that, and they didn't really want to put it in the hands of their pass game. But they did a nice job with play action and keeping us on our heels, and we gave up a few plays there that probably didn't need to be had, but I thought our defense played well.
Now you get a chance for the offense finally to get a positive field here. You're getting close to the red zone. Anything different here as far as the way you're calling the game? Still early second quarter.
No, we felt good with our plan, and we stayed on our script. And what we did was our special teams gave us a short field. So our offense now had the short field, and that was really key. And down here, we needed a score, and it was big time, so we went to the guy that we can rely on.
Timing pattern to Braden Smith, and of course he delivers as he does all year. That was just perfection, and that's when you're beginning to say, hey, we're going to make a statement just like we did against Siena. But then they come back, and I really liked watching, your defensive response in a lot of those kinds of situations. They're going to get their pressure, but of course missed opportunities there. How many interceptions did they leave out on the field possibly?
Yeah, I mean, we knew we had good plans, and we just had to get back into kind of a normal schedule. We got behind schedule and allowed them to stay ahead of the chains, and in the second quarter, we kind of reset ourselves. And once we did that, we had a good feeling about what we were doing.
Crossing pattern there, Marian gets back into your territory, and then they come back with the run. And love that defensive response. It's like you might get a big play on us, but we're gonna close ranks after.
Yeah, and our guys just played extremely hard against really talented offense, and against when you're playing a team like this, it's going to take a great effort in every single play, and you've got to get used to giving that type of physical output and mental output every play.
Marian goes up 24-7 or 24-7 at this point here. Now we're in the third quarter. And what was different about coming out in the second half?
We switched up a little bit defensively, gave them some different looks. And then offensively, we stayed on schedule a lot better. And we did a nice job of staying ahead of the chains and not relying on one specific part of the offense. And then our special teams started to play a lot better too.
I don't know Alford's total yards, but you used him in space and running and catching the ball. And there's Zach Blair doing it with his legs.
Yeah, and that was a nice play. We just a couple yards short here. This is one, if we could have converted on 4th down, things look a lot different too. And we missed a couple opportunities there in the 3rd quarter to move the chains, which would have been big.
Now you're back on offense, still 24-7. And it looks like Alford again getting lots of work, putting you in good situations.
Yeah, and we really get set up here because of our punt return unit and our punt teams putting us in positions to flip the field. And that's how our offense, it's easier to operate an offense when you have a short field like that.
Defensively, again, so many great plays, but then when they break one, they break a big one.
Yeah, that happens when you play great teams. They got great team speed, and they're going to have good playmakers. And
here's the game changer, at least for the moment. That was the block punt when it looks like they're just ready to sock this one away. I think Juice Johnson had his hand on a number of those this season. Nice to see him get one.
Yeah, well, Josh Fusco's the other one, number 13. He's the one that keeps coming up with big plays for us, a freshman safety that plays in all of our special teams, and he scored on defense, he scored on special teams, and he keeps affecting the game. And obviously we know what Juice can do with the ball in his hand, so that was a huge game changer for us.
Lots of awareness just to get the block, but then someone's got to be there and see that ball when it pops up or scoop it up. I know you train for that, but boy, it just when it happens in a game, it's really something.
Good moment for us. Yep.
Well, what happens here? I think your defense needs a stop here at the end of the 3rd, going into the 4th, and when you need it, they get it.
Yeah, I mean, these guys just continue to play with great grit, play with passion. They persevere through hard things. Freshman Isaac Abeo there, coming hot off the edge, is really a great physical talent, and we had a lot of different guys step up for us.
But again, they keep going to salary, and he's going to break one every now and then, no matter how good you are.
Yeah, I mean, he did a nice job. And offensive line, it was us. We had to adjust ourselves to play against an offensive line of that caliber, which is really cool to see. And this was good pressure by Hunter Tail, forcing the hard throw. And then Justin Johnson with really tight coverage. I thought we had a chance at that one, but they gave it to them.
They settle for the field goal, 27-14. Marian back on offense, and your defense just shows no quit there. And then they flip the field, the offense gets a chance, and what a surprise here. This drive, I think, is key.
Yeah, I mean, our offense has shown that we can do this, and we continue to, under pressure, make these drives late in the game with tempo or late in the halves. And Zach did a nice job of keeping us on rhythm, and the offensive line, we sprinkled some run in there, and the wide receivers came up with some really big plays to keep the thing alive.
We already gave it away. This one doesn't end up making the difference, but what a statement drive in the 4th quarter to go back against this tough defense.
Yeah, giving us a great opportunity, and we had a decision either kick the onside or give it back to our defense, and I felt great with how our defense was playing, and we ended up getting the ball back. They did a nice job of moving the chain just enough to put us into this tough field position.
Then the final couple of series of the games, you try to do the run back, and then of course they get the garbage touchdown that makes the score look a little bit wider. I think anybody watching this would say it's a 6-7 point game, which is their average that they've given up all year, and people that would be voting polls and those kinds of things start to matter now.
Yeah, that's just how it is, and we can't control those things. But
they have to look at more than the final
score. I would hope so, but our kids played really hard to the end. That was cool to see.
Well, I mentioned postseason, and I know you guys can't talk about it too much yet because you've got to get ready for Concordia. What do you build on when you go in, talk to your players today, tomorrow, and you get ready for another great team?
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that we belong, and it's obvious that if we play together in all 3 phases, we can beat just about anyone in the country. And Concordia is another really good team, at one point ranked number 4 in the country. So we just need to show up, and we need to be at our best, and that includes in our prep every day this week. We have to recognize that every detail of every day adds up to Saturday, and no doubt our players will respond to that. We've got to take a road trip up overnight in a kind of a difficult place to play, and we've got to try to get a response at the right time on Saturday.
Well, it'll be fun to watch. You finish out the season no matter what. It's been a great one. And
thank you.
You have so much to build on. Thanks always for joining us.
Yeah.
These first of the week after we talk about the game on Wildcat Week. It's great to get you in here. Well, as we mentioned, the Wildcat football team will be on the road against Concordia. That's the one in Michigan. Game starts at 1 p.m. When we come back, we'll talk to Candace Moats as the IWU volleyball team works its way through the Crossroads League Championship. Stay with us. Welcome back to Wildcat Week. The Wildcat volleyball team defeated the Bethel Pilots in the Crossroads League quarterfinals, extending their winning streak to 12 games, part of a wonderful season. And joining us now is head coach Candace Moats. Welcome, of course, as always, to Wildcat Week. We were just catching up a little bit. I haven't gotten in to see a match, but boy, we've all been paying attention. What a wonderful season. And what do you have to do coaching-wise to continue on when you've had so much success? How do you keep them motivated for the next match?
Yeah, we really have to just say what's in front of us. We don't really look ahead, we don't look behind, because if we do, buzzwords all over campus can get you all messed up, and they're good intentions, but you can't listen to, oh, you guys legit, you're like, are you gonna lose, kind of stuff, and you just have to focus on being grateful for what we got.
I would imagine that just changes the psychology,
Yeah.
Being this strong, one loss on the whole season.
Yeah.
You get to postseason and anything can happen, but
Right.
the mindset, it'd be very easy to kind of get a little lackadaisical mentally anyway.
Yeah, I think so. And again, I think just that fear base where, oh, we can't lose kind of thing. And we really have worked through that. When we did get our one loss, it was really kind of a break in just that intensity and that fear.
Yeah.
And we kind of just let it go then. And now I just feel like we're so just relaxed. We're going at it. We're confident. We're very confident. We can't wait to meet new opponents. I think that's going to be motivating for us. Just trying to plow through the same opponent every time really drives us nuts.
Well, here we go, IWU versus Bethel, first round of the Crossroads League tournament.
Yeah.
Just right off the bat, as we're kind of seeing these quick highlights, any surprises? Does it really help to play an opponent when you come to these postseason rounds?
Yeah, that not a lot of change goes on with each opponent. And so, I think our biggest strategy is what can we do different that is going to bring some maybe more challenge to them.
This particular coach's cam shot, you're seeing it from, actually, both of them have dark uniforms. This is IWU in the back, I can see.
Yeah.
So do you, at this point in the season, do you have any different kind of strategy? Do you have any kind of, obviously what got you here is fine. So do you do anything differently?
Well, this morning in our 5:30 a.m. practice, we put in a new offense.
Wow.
Because we want to not be predictable. And I think, the biggest thing I would say about this season is that everybody, when you get ranked up to like number 3 in the country, everybody wants to beat you. And it has been a battle every match, but that's made us really strong because we've had to stay strong in the whole thing. And so, yeah, we're going to bring some surprises, hopefully, to some of the opponents ahead.
You can recognize the players in these highlights better than I can. Call out anything you see that's maybe what you've seen all season or from your side, part of the new offensive strategy. Great play across the front.
Yeah, well, I think that, we have got some really strong middles on our team, and we have rotated them around, and sometimes we put all of them in at one time, and it's been kind of moving them around more than anyone and trying to create different shots and different sequences that we can run, and putting sometimes Anna Kohler in the front and then sometimes putting her in the back, and just creating that quickness and yet that high outside ball, if Rachel Klitzing is in there.
Yeah, and you're seeing some of that play from the middle and
Yeah.
setting up that front line. Just at this point in the season, I don't want to say perfection. It's never perfection for a coach, but
Right.
but you just see a team that knows what it's doing.
Yeah, there's, like I said, a lot of
It's a
confidence.
great spike there.
Yeah, just a lot of confidence and a lot of communication, and people are working together, and that's what I'm so proud of, really, to be honest. Even in the battle of adversity, with injury, with just everyone coming and bringing their best to us, and sometimes the challenge of not playing as well as we wanted to, everyone's fought through that.
We're seeing a lot of total domination here. What we miss on these highlights is what people will get if they come out Wednesday night to see it live, if they haven't seen a match yet, is how much your ladies interact, how much they have to talk to each other all throughout every play.
Yes. It definitely is a communication game, and if you don't communicate, you can, and that's one thing. No matter if we're winning or losing, we're communicating to make sure that we are always bettering the ball. And
outstanding defensive dig there to keep it alive. And
yeah,
for those who know volleyball, you're seeing lots of great control throughout, not just attacking, but lots of solid control. Your team has gotten here by staying in great control of the situations that they've been in, no matter what.
Right. I think, that's one thing too, the defensive piece to it. A lot of teams just really hype their offense up and get big hitters and everything, but you got to have a pass and you got to dig the ball, and we've got that piece really down well, so it's exciting.
Are you allowed, or your coaches allowed, or any players allowed to talk at nationals yet?
We really haven't, to be honest. We're trying to win a conference championship. So we've got
outright.
Yes,
outright.
Absolutely. We're trying to win the tournament, and that's what'll keep our seeding. And then if we can keep our seeding, we'll go in as a first seed in the tournament. This is the first time ever.
And I'm right. I was going to say first time ever for you, first time for IWU.
Correct.
So I know you can't help but think about it a little bit, but you can't talk about it because Crossroads Leagues comes first, and what a great run you've shown us. Well, as we mentioned, the volleyball team will be in action. Wildcat Volleyball against Mount Vernon Nazarene in Crossroads League semifinals. That's on Wednesday night, November 13th. The game starts at 7 p.m. And when we come back, Mikala Woodfork will bring us the breakdown, and we'll talk to Daniel Seiffert as the women's soccer team also heads to the league championship. Welcome back to Wildcat Week. Now we'll send it over to Mikala Woodfork with the breakdown.
Thanks, Randall. The volleyball team is still not giving any mercy to anyone they compete against. They beat Bethel in 3 straight sets to win the match. The first game ended 25-10, the second game ended 25-13, and the third 25-17. The cross-country teams competed in the Crossroads League Championship. The men finished in first place out of 10 teams. Chris Maxson came in second place at a time of 24 minutes and 27 seconds, and Jesse Saxon came in fourth place at 25 minutes and 8 seconds. This was the men's 3rd straight Crossroads League Championship. The women also did well as they finished second out of 10 teams. Erica Stutzman led the way for the Wildcats as she finished 6th at a time of 18 minutes and 50 seconds. The football team suffered an unfortunate loss against Marian. The Wildcats tried to break loose from Marian's grip after the half, but just couldn't, which resulted in a 33-21 loss. The women's soccer team is now headed to the Crossroads League Championship after they beat Mount Vernon 2-1. Emily Carter scored the Wildcats' first goal in the 52nd minute, and Lexis Garcia scored the second goal in the 86th minute. And finally, the women's basketball team hosted Leah Whitaker Memorial Classic and walked away winning one and losing one. They first beat IU Kokomo 68-56. They then lost to Lawrence Tech 75-61. Dayton Groninger led in scoring with 17 points each game, and Carly Lang had 10 rebounds each game for a team best of 20 rebounds in the tournament. The ladies are now 3-1 for the season. Well, that's all I have for you this week for the breakdown. Back to you, Randall.
And thank you, Mikala. Well, the women's soccer team secured their place in the league championship after defeating Mount Vernon Nazarene. So we're welcoming in another winning coach joining us now, head coach for the women's team, Daniel Seiffert. And boy, I don't think winning ever gets boring, but I was just commenting, if you pay attention to all of IW athletics, you got a lot of places you have to be right now. I'm glad, I know you're glad to be still playing.
Yes, it's postseason time, and fortunately enough, we've put ourselves in a really good position to continue to play, and so that's we don't take it for granted, and just look to continue to build relationships and hopefully get a little bit better each and every time on the field.
Your 3rd, 4th year here, I'm trying to remember.
Second, actually, yeah.
So you inherited talent and you've recruited talent, but did you see this season coming?
No, I mean, we're a young team. So we lost 9 seniors last year, 11 girls and everything. So we brought in 11 freshmen this year. And so it was a young team. Very first game of the year, we played the number 6 team in the country, Lindsey Wilson, and was leading that game all the way up till the last 90 seconds, and then ended up losing. And it's kind of crazy to go back with how young we are to see that we haven't lost since that very first game of the year. So it's credit to the girls for fighting for each other and working through.
Second half here against Mount Vernon Nazarene, nil score for the first at halftime, but then the bottom starts to open up here, or the drops out for your team. Mount Vernon trying something there.
Yeah, they had a couple opportunities. They came out second half and actually did a good job of, I mean, we limited their spacing behind, but then they took a lot of shots from outside, and then this is where they got their first goal to go ahead, 1-0, which is where we had to now decide what are we made of, what are we going to do, and credit to our players. Right here is, I think, one of the opportunities that we tried to create, which ended up eventually leading to us trying to figure out what we're made of. Most of the time we go ahead first goal, and so for us to go behind and then find a way to fight back to create an opportunity to equalize is a very good thing for us. And that's actually what happens, I believe, right here is where we get the goal by Emily Carter, her first of the season, and assisted by Alexis Garcia, who's just been having a terrific year.
Great assist and great finish there. You equalize that up. Mount Vernon's coming back aggressively. I think every team's trying to make up for that first half, probably.
Yeah, it was a quiet first half, not a lot of action, a lot of middle of the park stuff. So, once we were able to equalize, it kind of gave our girls a little bit more confidence and tried to figure out ways of unbalancing the opposition to hopefully give ourselves more scoring opportunities.
So here's Mount Vernon bringing, you've seen a lot of talent this year in the Crossroads League overall.
And then that's the thing about Mount Vernon, they're really strong at their defensive positions. So serving the balls in, a lot of stuff from outside. Sam Castaneda did a terrific job in goal for us, just constantly protecting anything from further out. So our girls finally were able to find an opportunity to keep knocking, and it wasn't the prettiest of games for us, not the best performances, but sometimes you have to find ways of winning, even if it's not the most beautiful style of soccer, and that's what ended up happening in this one, where gave them a lot of stuff from outside, but tried to limit their opportunities deep within.
Mount Vernon very aggressive there offensively. You come back, match that.
Yep, and this is where we actually got the equalizer goal, where ball was bouncing around a little bit, served across again, very similar to the last one, and one of our forwards kept it alive, who dropped it back to Alexis Garcia. So Lauren kept it alive, dropped it back to Alexis Garcia, and that was actually the go-ahead goal with 6 minutes left or 5 minutes left in the game. So it was really cool for just the girls to see that we can go behind and figure out yet a way to be resilient, to be gritty, and not give up ever.
For those of us that maybe don't understand the mentality of soccer, you have those games where you have just goals aplenty. Is it harder to coach when it is one of those equalizer kind of games and 0-0 and all that? Is there anything different about what you're doing?
Yeah, you're just trying to figure out how to put your team in a position to win, a position to score. Pretty simple standard: score more goals than the opposition is the way you win most games, depending on what sport you're playing. And so when it's a close game, a 1-goal match, or even when you go down, you're trying to figure out how to build in that courage and kind of put your team in a position where they can be successful and then execute. And that's what we do. We have some very special players on this team, and it's the 27 for a reason. We really rely on everyone on the team to really pull their own roles and weight and figure out a way to just strive for excellence in everything that we do.
Well, we will look forward to seeing what they're going to do. As we said, too much postseason to keep up with, but please check it out. These ladies are great, and should mention also all games have been on the practice field for men and women this year because of issues with our field delivery. That's why you might not have seen them on TV, but go see them in person. It's better. All sports are better in person anyway, as much as we love the TV piece. Women's soccer will play in the Crossroads League Championship against Marian University. That's on Saturday, November 16th. Yes, that Marian. They're back in town. And that game will start at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. on that. Well, that's all we have for you on this episode of Wildcat Week. If you'd like to see more of Wildcat Week, visit our website, wiwutv.com. That's where you can see past episodes. Connect with us online. Again, it's wiwutv.com. And stay connected with all of our local programming by subscribing to our YouTube channel. That's WIWU TV. We look forward to seeing you next week, and for all of us here, thanks for watching.